Welcome to another episode of the Danswers podcast. I have a couple of call outs to start. Did you just splash water all over your mouth?
Absolutely.
Terrence, we're not going to get to that right away. I have a couple of call outs that I want to make. I'm going to start. Well, first of all, check out the link tree in the description. It goes to my ticket links for Orange County and Des Moines. Also, you can join the Patreon. We do a much more intimate live exclusively for Patreon members. So you get an extra episode a week. You get to talk more directly to me, and it's very fun. Now, and obviously check out Terrence. Now, at Persecuted T at Twitter.
Persecuted T. I barely post, but sometimes I might get crazy. So, look for it.
And now back to the call outs because I have a couple of call outs to make. I've been trying to get into the celebrity boxing game for quite a while, but people have stopped me because they have said I'm not a celebrity and I also don't know how to box. And I don't let those sorts of things stop me. Okay. I don't let naysayers stop me. I don't let the people who say, Dan, you are not a known entity outside of the San Diego County. I don't let people stop me. So I'm making this call out, Terrence, and I'm gonna do. Are you ready for this? Mitt Romney. Don't laugh. Do not laugh. This is serious. I'm being serious right now. Mitt Romney, you know I've been calling your ass out for years. You've been ducking me for years, all right? Mitt, it's time for you to enter the cage. Your ass is old now, okay? You're in the twilight years. Your political career has waned, all right? And it's time for you to step in the cage or the ring. I will MMA fight you as well, okay? Sign the paperwork, Mitt. I would also like to take this moment, and don't laugh, Terrence. This is serious stuff. I would also like to take this moment to call out all forms of mental illness. Hey, mental illness, I'm coming for you. Okay? You think you can torment the lives of all of my friends? I'm coming for that ass, mental illness. All right? We're attacking you all on all ends with empathy. All right? We're attacking you with understanding. Okay? We're coming at you with motherfucking kindness and resources like medical professionals. Okay, your ass doesn't stand a goddamn chance.
Okay, can I say something?
Yeah, please.
I feel like on both fronts, I'm gonna bet on the other part. I'm gonna bet on Mitt Romney,
Why would you say that?
and I'm gonna bet on mental illness. Mental illness is strong, and Mitt Romney, he has Bain Capital and also the Secret Service still probably.
He definitely does have the Secret Service
Absolutely.
still. But so wait, you don't think I have a chance against Mitt Romney or mental illness?
No. What he's gonna Drake. He's gonna give you the Drake treatment. He's gonna get other people to jump you.
Yeah, he's gonna get his shooters.
Yeah, he's gonna get his shooters now.
But he won't step in the ring.
No.
What about my war waged against mental illness?
That is, man, you just so many obstacles in your way.
There are a lot of but you don't think I can maybe like muster some strength?
Spiritually in my heart, yes, but rationally, absolutely not.
But I'm brolic.
You're brolic.
And you don't think that would help?
Spell brolic.
BRAWLICK.
Is that right? Shout out in the comics. Did he spell Brawley right?
Hey, yeah, comments go in there. Now we welcome to the Danswers podcast. This is the podcast where I answer your questions, no matter how big or small. Terrence is a live mod. He is going to select the questions. He is going to alert me when you guys are going buck wild in the chat. He is going to alert me when people are attacking me, coming after my name. And man, I lost a little steam. I really thought maybe I could like wage war on mental illness and kind of with empathy and kindness and mental health care professionals.
What, we're gonna kumbaya now?
Yeah,
we can kumbaya.
We can kumbaya our way out of this. Okay. I feel.
So Van Gogh, he should have just kumbaya his way.
No, that is not what I'm saying. But if Van Gogh had access to mental health professionals, right, and medication, things might have gone a little bit better.
I don't know, bro.
Listen, and not to go Mark Wahlberg, but if I was there when the Van Gogh stuff was happening, it would have gone down differently.
If you were there, it would have went infinitely worse.
Yeah.
You would have.
He somehow also wouldn't have made the art. Things would have been just as bad, but he also would not have made art.
You would have been like, bro, just do some push-ups.
No, I have moved past that. I am not like. That's why I'm mentioning the mental, because that's how you do. It's not with push-ups or drinking water or going outside.
You drink some water.
That it can help a little bit, but it won't solve it.
Drink, hydrate, creatine.
You got a lot of water coming out of your pores right now, brother.
I'm very sweaty right now.
You're sweaty as hell right now.
I told you this before I came here.
A little more into the microphone if you can.
I told you this before I came
Yeah.
here. Not before, but when I walked in, I was like, I'm going to be a sweaty boy today.
You know what, Terrence? I accept you for that.
I don't know. I feel judged.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Let's go to that first question.
Let's go to this first.
So this is actually the end of a much longer question that I'm gonna read for all of you. It is very in depth, so it's gonna take a moment, but we'll take little breaks. And this person emailed me at dancerspodcast@gmail.com. You can also do that if you have a longer question. So this is the listener question. I was incredibly depressed at times and wanted to unalive myself, as they say. Okay. Because we have to talk like infants online, even though this is like incredibly important to address.
Dude, the algorithm's always watching.
It's disgusting, but I want to unalive myself. For much of my teenage years, at 15, I began a long string of incredibly unhealthy and sometimes traumatic relationships just to add a little spice to my life. There was no specific reason behind my sadness, but it was crushing and stunted any growth of my personality. Sometimes I almost wish I had something effed up happen in my childhood to blame it on. I mean, this is honestly, so far in this message, such sort of a self-understanding, like to have that understanding of being like, I wish. Like that feeling, I think, is so pervasive, even though I think a lot of people can be ashamed of it, to be like, I wish something traumatic had happened to explain the feeling that I have. But sometimes, like, there's this really deep sadness in not having anything to like cling to when it comes to meaning, especially when it comes to one's like inner world. But that doesn't make your feelings less valid.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the modern world do to you. It's a weird place. Sometimes you feel surreal. Oops, mic time. Sometimes you just things just feel surreal, dude, and you want to I don't know. That's like envisioning yourself going through that. That's like saying.
Did you ever have it when you were a kid? I all the time, and you wanted that. Not that I wanted either of my parents to pass away, but you would just picture them like. And I would picture them like coming over the intercom and being like, "Dad, your dad is dead." And then, because in my mind, I loved my dad so much, but in my mind, I was like, that would make kids think I'm cool. Yeah. That would make the other kids actually like me. And I won't have to deal with the fact that I do not socialize well with them. I can bypass that by tragedy happening to me.
That, you know what? Yeah, that is true. That's like a kind of a derivative of, men used to go to war.
Yeah,
it's a not to like
no
make fun of the guy, but like it is kind of like a Fight Club-esque, which is real, which is very real. I think Fight Club is a very important movie. It's kind of misogynist, but it does bring on that point, And that's a tough question.
Yeah.
The rational thing to do is just to be like, it's hard because I get what he's saying.
Right.
It just doesn't, I guess nothing feels real. Like I said before.
Right.
You don't feel like you're striving for something. You're like, people are doing all this stuff. They're breaking their back. And I'm just floating. Yeah. I felt like that for like the past 10 years. I felt like I was floating. I'm in California now because I floated here. I just ended up here. And I get that feeling.
You floated here.
I floated here.
On a wing and a prayer on the back of one of the angriest Irish people I've ever met in my entire life.
On the back of Killian and his car.
Our friend Killian. He's been on the show. I wish he wasn't. I wish I could take. No, I'm kidding. I love him so much. Now I'm much better, and I've been putting more effort into regaining the ability to be social. but the fake it till you make it will only give you success for surface level interactions. Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't have the dancers here. While I'm glad I learned how to make good small talk, I feel like really meaningful friendships and romantic relationships, you need to be able to connect on a deeper level, which is tricky, and I cannot attain. To do that, I think I think one needs a stronger sense of self in order to have something for others to connect to. What this guy is so deep.
Yeah.
Truly, like this is really interesting stuff. Um,
I was about to say, like, just you seem very neurotic, but a very smart guy. You seem
very
like a
smart.
guy into philosophy.
Yeah. However, during what can only be described as the worst sex of my life, I realized the reason all my relationships have sucked is because by allowing myself to be so depressed for so long meant I let go of my interests, hobbies, and general personality. If I don't know who I am and what I want, how could I possibly know what I want in another person or just life in general? Currently, I feel like I have nothing more to my personality than gym, motorcycle, and doing my college degree. I mean, honestly, hey,
Yeah.
those three are more than many. Now, if you can read this is the end of the message, which I included. Obviously, I couldn't include the whole thing on the screen, but go ahead, or go ahead, Terrence.
Yes. The big question, I guess, is how do I rediscover who I am and escape this limbo of just existing without interest or passion? And what happens if I don't like the person I discover? How do you put this open again?
No, person I discovered. That's
Okay.
that's the end of the thing. And uh, so first of all, you've come a really long way, and I think that you also need to give yourself a little bit of credit for the fact that, like, when it comes to things like we've been talking a lot about, like, depression, mental illness, and like I said last episode, I feel like there's something in the air, like recently, at least in my personal life,
Yeah.
and it really has kind of opened my eyes to this, the idea and concept that, like, these are things that are so big and important to address, like, mental illness and stuff is not just, I mean, even the conversations about it, like, I think permeated my mind in this way where it's like, oh well, mental illness is real, so you have to, like, get out and drink water and achieve and da 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 to get over it, like the kind of, the podcasters method of, like, dealing with depression. But
Yeah.
look, recently, and due to a lot of, like, circumstances I'm actually grateful for because it kind of opened my eyes to these things, it's like there's a lot of stuff that sort of thing doesn't address, and it can actually make people feel very guilty about being depressed by giving them this message of, like, well, all you have to do is drink water and go outside and exercise. And it's like those things are definitely important, especially when it comes to, like, baseline quality of life,
Mhm.
but it doesn't fix the issues of mental illness. It can like maybe give you a more comfortable setting to deal with it in certain
Yeah.
situations, but
Yeah.
even then, like, not always. Like, you need do like professional help and, like, medical or like chemical intervention are, like,
Yeah.
super important too.
Well, you're right there, but I think in this case with this particular gentleman, I think he seems like a young guy
Yeah,
who is just in a place we're all at that age.
dude, I would.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you about when I was in college, and I do
Mhm.
like rehashing this just because I think it does give a little more depth to my life, even though I am ashamed of it
Mhm.
at a certain level. When I was in college, I had just, like, graduated from high school. My senior year of high school was horrible, and, like, my friends were gone, and I didn't really have anyone to hang out with. I would spend like 12 hours a day at the school from, like,
Mhm.
sun up to sundown. I would go from school to track to drama, and I
Mhm.
would just not leave. I would shower there. I would eat 3 meals there, and I thought, like, putting myself in prison gave me, like this guy is talking about, gave me meaning. I
Yeah.
thought, like, putting, like, not obviously not prison. I'm sorry to, like, use that word flippantly, but it's like putting myself in a self-subscribed sort of, like, monastic lifestyle
Mhm.
would give myself meaning and make me become, like, the most perfect version of myself.
Yeah.
That followed me to college where I started, and luckily I didn't go too far down this rabbit hole, but
Mhm.
I started down the tunnel of fucking, like, pickup artist shit. because I was so no, truly. I was 18. I was going to Bryant University, and they made us do study hours because I was running track at the time. So I would watch like these YouTube because I was so confused why women didn't seem to be interested in me, because I was like, what that I go to the gym all the time. I'm in such good shape. I'm like a handsome guy.
Yeah.
Why are they not? And I was like, it's this horrible, pernicious mindset that has followed me for a really long time, where it's like, you think the way to get out of something is to perfect yourself, is to like sharpen the sword, is sharpen. And that mindset carried me into that whole thing, which it does not apply to, because the reason why I realize this now, the reason why women weren't paying attention to me was because they smelled this level of like angst and like sort of like a certain level of what's the word, like resentment that I had, and they smelled this insane tendency to perfect myself rather than just enjoy life and be a human being.
They were like, bro, this dude's in the trenches right now, bro.
Yes.
My boy is struggling.
They
right?
saw me and they were like, longer in the oven with this one, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it was like, they were just saying, look at this strange but intense man.
Yeah.
I can't handle this energy.
And like rightfully so. And it's like, when you look at the people in your life that you want, because I think there's like a hint of this in this guy's life, perhaps, and even if not, maybe this is helpful for some people. It's like, when you are thinking about people in your life that you enjoy being around, that you enjoy hanging out with, absolutely, like, there may be a degree that they are like self-actualized and they're intense and they like have drives and stuff. Like, those are attractive qualities in a person and a friend, all that stuff. But when I look at the people in my life that I like being around, that I like talking to, the only metric that I really look at and that I see is like consistent throughout all of them is they make me feel comfortable and they make me feel loved. And if you can develop that, it doesn't mean you have to go to the gym for 4 hours to develop that. It doesn't mean you have to learn 5 languages to develop that. You just have to learn to sit and be present and to accept people for who they are. But it's tough when you're not accepting yourself for who you are.
Damn, that's a lot. That is true. What I'll say this side too, for this gentleman, for you struggle. If you're looking for a struggle in meaning in your life, this is your struggle. Your struggle to find meaning.
Yeah.
This is like the most beautiful story. This is like, was it Catcher in the Rye? Charles Bukowski, minus the bad stuff. You're not him. Don't just be him.
Do not identify. You can read the writing and go, that's nice, and then that's where it ends. Okay, do you understand me?
Travis Bickle.
No. Yeah, here you go. Yeah. You want to look at these heroes. The guy in American Psycho, Travis Bickle, Fight Club, Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Yeah, all of these guys to look up to who are definitely cool, and there's nothing else to learn from their story.
No, but seriously, this is your struggle, and you are certainly not alone. I think this is, not to go like all too hard, but this is a modern problem. You're not alone in this. There's, especially men, there's a lot of men who feel just the way you do. So you're not alone. Fight. This is your struggle. You just have to, life, like Buddhism, life is struggle. You just have to do that struggle, and you're doing great. You're working out. Look, I'll tell you my college story. I went to college fully mentally ill.
Yeah.
Fully, like full blown, like cuckoo.
That's what the doctor said.
Cuckoo crazy, right? I failed. Listen. I failed the same classes 2 semesters in a row. I dropped out, pretended to go to school for the next 6 months, which meant me just wandering around the wonderful city of Lowell, Massachusetts for 12 hours a day, chain smoking the mini Black and Milds. I would buy them because they were 69 cents, and I would just literally walk around the city, and I pretended I went to school for 6 months.
Damn. Yeah, those are if you want to throw something in the chat up there, just take a second to look because I have something to say while you look.
Mhm.
There's something so particularly I am going through an intense struggle. There's something so particularly connected to that when it comes to wandering around aimlessly. Like I would ride the bus. I would
Mhm.
ride the bus to nowhere. I would just ride the bus to the full circle because
Yeah.
I would do in like college. And dude, this
That's
one night
yeah.
this one night I rode the bus in a full circle and they made me get off at the stop and I got off and I was running track at the time. This is at UMass Amherst, so this is a year later.
Mhm.
And when the bus got off, I was at the track and I just slept on the high jump mat for no reason. I just wanted to sleep on the high jump mat, dude. It was so nuts.
Mhm.
What are the folks saying?
You know, that's what Lee Harvey Oswald did.
Did he really?
He would just ride the subway. He was so lonely. Dude,
Dude,
we're a type of person.
thank God I found stand-up comedy and friends, man. And it's a tough thing.
I just want to say this quick comment from Nat C.
Great.
Have you seen the video about the girl?
Hey, and by the way, when you're pronouncing that name, let's be clear. It is NAT space initial C.
Nat, I said that.
Yeah, I know, but it sounds. There are people who are going to just listen to the audio and hear you say this is a comment from Nat C.
Oh, YouTube algorithm. All the algorithms.
Maybe go by Natalie. Now, please go on.
From Natalie C.
Yeah, thank you.
I need some fashion commenting. Dan, have you seen the video about the girl who loves Michael McDonald? It's
oh my
awesome.
God.
And the reason why I picked this, Terrence, is that a Junji Ito t-shirt? Yes, it is. Yes, this is my coolest shirt. I had nothing else to wear, so I was like, I'm gonna pop on the Tony.
Oh, you wore your coolest shirt for the podcast?
I wore my coolest shirt
nice.
for the podcast.
So let me answer your question. Yes, I did see that, and it gave me the most hope for the future I've ever had in my entire life. It made me feel as though this country has hope. When that girl, this very young girl, was told that she was going to see Michael McDonald, she clearly really loved Michael McDonald. She clearly has taste and intelligence beyond her years. And she understands a generational talent when she hears it. And yeah, it made me that shit made me so happy, dude. Because that's how I feel exactly like that little girl when I think about Michael McDonald. He to me is like an ethereal, ever-present force of kindness and energy. And that's how I feel about Michael McDonald. What comes through, and I could talk about this all episode, but what comes through to me in Michael McDonald's music is a pure, genuine love for making music. I know that's weird to say because most artists, I'm sure most musicians love making music, but for him, there's something just so deeply. There's this video of Michael McDonald with I forget the group it is, but it's like an a cappella group essentially, and they do a cover of a Beach Boys song.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you want to cry, not just because it's Michael McDonald singing at his best. He's like older now, but he hasn't lost a step. It also just the joy that he is experiencing just singing with his friends. Dude, that's the kind of shit that gets me off more than any like David Goggins video. It's watching that.
That's amazing. I'm just gonna throw this out. I'm just gonna say this. I am black. Who is Michael McDonald? And I'm just gonna throw that out.
No, and I understand. It makes sense. You know that song, I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore.
Yeah, wow, that's him.
I keep forgetting things will never be the same again.
Wow.
I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting. Are we gonna get copyright strike from that?
It's so good.
Every time you're near. Yeah, that's Michael. Michael McDonald was a background singer for Steely Dan, and then was half of the Doobie Brothers with Kenny Loggins, and then had an illustrious solo career as well.
Wow.
So this is the thing about Michael McDonald. He has not one but two cover albums of Motown songs
Mhm.
does not cover a single white guy. And
Yeah.
and I understand in current political climate, a white guy doing two separate cover albums of all non-white artists on the surface is absolutely a little bit like, huh? Dude, they slap. So he does Love TKO by Teddy Pendergrass.
Yeah.
Dude, it gets me going. It's so gosh darn good. Were you about to block somebody?
No. That was just an accident. I was actually listen. I want to put this up.
Yeah, throw it up
right here.
Someone in the chat said, "I'm black too. Thank you for asking."
I got you,
LMAO.
Milo.
And Milo with no profile picture. Thank you for letting us know, dude. Do you remember? Oh my goodness, this is an aside. But going off of the comment of I'm black too, and Milo, thank you for joining us, and we do appreciate you. Do you remember when we were at the Lyric Hyperion open mic, and there were those two people hosting the mic, and they were and listen, it's their mic, they do whatever they want to do. Every time it was mostly white guys at this open mic, which many open mics are like that, and people take steps to try to make it more inclusive, which I do appreciate. I understand that sometimes when you go to an open mic, they'll be like, we're going to have a women's bucket and a men's bucket, and then we're going to go every other, so women have a better chance of getting up. That way, women are encouraged to go, and that's totally fine with me. Like, obviously, it's fine with me.
There's not a lot of women, so they need.
There's not a lot of women, and it's like it makes the mic better when there's more people and perspectives there.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Can't just be a bunch of dudes in there just sweating and
just because it's not as fun. It's just not as fun. Same with it all being all white people. Same with it being like all one group of people. It gets bored.
Yeah.
So we're at this open mic at the Lyric, and these two people who happen to be women are hosting, and whenever there's like a white guy that gets called, there's sort of this, and it's fine. Obviously, I don't take it personally, but there's this like eye rolling that they kind of do. They go like, oh, like another two white guys or whatever.
Yeah.
Two things happened at this open mic that were just really funny. They call our friend Alex Hanna up.
Yeah.
And Alex Hanna has a joke about race, and Alex is half Dominican, and he gets off the stage, and one of the girls goes up and immediately is like, oh my God, great, another white guy talking about race. And Alex from the crowd just goes, I'm half Dominican.
Yeah.
And everybody laughs, and the girl kind of has egg on her face.
Yeah.
And it's silly, it's funny. No one took real offense. It was just kind of silly. And the next thing she does is pull a name out of the bucket, and she reads, oh, great, another white guy, Terrence Pennington.
Then I strolled up like I have arrived.
Because you were the because there was someone who went up before you, so they didn't know until like 3 minutes later when you walked on stage. Yeah. And no offense, I wasn't looking at you at all. I was just like on them. And this is like they kind of looked at each other and kind of did that. It was so funny.
I was like, thank you.
And you did, to your credit, you didn't say anything rude to them, which I think was the right move.
Dude, I know my name.
Of course.
I know how my name is. It's pretty sick.
Ooh, throw that one.
Yeah, I was
because we're talking about performing. You know, I like the chat is kind of working beautifully into the show. Go ahead, throw that up there.
Hey, musician here. Wondering if you have any advice on getting over stage jitters.
I truly think number one is just repetition, right? Like that's the only. You can have every trick in the book. You can picture the audience naked. You can picture the audience naked with a feather in their ass. You can picture your audience naked with a feather in their ass, and they're all kind of like they're all like touching you but very gently, and you can kind of hear like an ASMR sort. This is just my method. But no, there's really no, I don't think like sustained way to get over it other than that. But you know, something if you're a musician and you're doing like live performance, something I really like doing is trying to think of things from the perspective of the audience member, not in this way where I'm trying to like get in their head, but sometimes I will look out into the audience and I just think like, I love this one's crazy. I heard this from another comic, but it really helped me. You look at the audience and you go, I love them and I want them to have a good time. Like, look at the whole audience. because sometimes in your head, depending on where you're performing, I realize I can get a really shitty mindset when it comes to considering the audience. And sometimes, and I'm not proud of this, sometimes I'll like look out into the audience and I'll be like, God, this audience sucks, or like I hate what they're laughing at. I hate what they're not laughing at. Like I can get into a really bad mindset. And it really helps me to look out into the audience. However my dumb brain is thinking about them, I look out at them and I go, I love you guys, and I want you to have a good time when I'm on stage. And that kind of takes the stage fright away from me, because you're just so wrapped up in yourself and you're like, me. I hope I do this perfect. Look at them and be like, I hope they have a good time. And that recently, and by recently I mean yesterday.
Yeah.
I hosted my open mic, because I host an open mic. And I should be hosting an open mic because I need as much stage time as I can possibly get.
Yeah.
Dude, the level to which I was just a awful host. The level to which I set a horrible energy for that room. The level to which, and I'll go into detail about this. I got on stage, and when you're a host, the whole idea is whatever happens, you're setting the room for the other performers. And dude, I was just a little diva. I was like, I did like a little riff up top and no one laughed. And I was immediately just like, oh, so you guys suck. Oh, so this is a bad crowd. Like, that's stupid.
That is you. That is you
Yeah.
to a T.
Yeah.
That's why me and my friend Killian, look, me and Killian, we're some weird looking dudes, right?
I think you're cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But like the one thing that makes us like, oh, we got Dan, was when he messes up and we just dig into.
Yeah.
Like when you had that screen that screensaver on your phone, it was like an Eat, Pray, Love quote, and then we just got at you.
Oh my God, dude. Yes, that was so. Because I had that because no one really noticed it, because when you have writing on your background, no one really has time to even read it. But for some reason, my phone was just open for long enough for one of you, I think it was Killian, to read it, and it was something like really motivational, and something very. I truly think it was one of those like military YouTubers or whatever who are like, you gotta make your bed at 3 a.m. every day, which I do get off on that stuff sometimes. Yeah. But that was a rough week, dude. Because there's no defense for it. There's no defense for it other than like, shut up.
We were like, yo, Dan, what's that, bro? What's that, big dog?
Oh, you guys are stupid.
Was that from a Lifetime movie? What's happening?
It's so funny because when you slip up, and mind you, we're talking about people you love, and I knew there was no malice in what they were saying, but dude, when you slip up like that, what's so funny is you're going through your head. Your head starts going like, what can I say to actually hurt these people so they'll stop attacking me? So I'm just like, fuck. Like, I'm just like, did Killian's like mom have cancer at some point? Like, I'm just thinking about like the meanest, most horrible thing, just because I got. I got so got, and you're just trying to find any way out of it.
Bro, that, and also that is, I wouldn't say a weakness, but yes, that is something that we know can get you.
Yeah.
And especially me, I am like blood in the
you're a Mako.
Dude. Bro, me and Ricardo, this dude from Boston that nobody needs to do, me and him would just go relentless on people.
Yeah.
We'd be like, yo, can you run that by me again? Can you run that by me real quick, bro? Okay.
Dude, when you say something stupid and people ask you to like, I heard this is a story, a huge headliner. My friend got to hang out with a huge headliner and a feature who's also a really big comic. He's a young guy. He's nervous. And he's in a private jet. This is one of the, I love this story so much. And he's talking to the feature, and the headliner's just sitting there. And he turns to the feature and he goes, wow, when you're on stage, it's like, how does it feel to just crush like that? Like he has like a really genuine, maybe a little bit over the top kind of question, and the headliner just goes, and imagine saying that.
What a jerk.
And imagine saying that sort of thing, man. It really like that can get under my skin sometimes. Yeah, no, I mean, part of me like learning about myself, because I do think, again, it's this perfectionism that I think, like, my initial reaction to that sort of stuff is, oh, so I have to become like totally okay and impervious to anyone making fun of like little stuff when it comes to me. But part of me goes like, well, you definitely shouldn't fly off the handle, and you definitely shouldn't lose your temper at it. But also, there's something very, I think, like human and good to kind of being like, shut up. You know what I mean? Like I think there's something like a genuine impulse to be like, shut up.
That's like a breakthrough in like a friendship. I think that's like when you're, quote unquote busting balls, you know what I mean? That I think that's a good busting balls. That's just the way you make friends,
Yeah.
And some people, you're a very sensitive boy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think being sensitive is kind of like the issue. God, this might be getting too personal or whatever, and I don't want it. But the issue is like, I think as far as my totality of character, I am what you would call like what's the word I'm looking for when you kind of like feel bad for someone,
But
I'm not like a sympathetic character a lot of the time. You know what I mean? I feel like when people are going after me, I feel like everyone in the group is usually like, yeah,
It's like a bunch of wolves.
Yeah. I had a dude. Holy and this is just becoming a conversation, but I kind of like this, and we'll go back to the chat in a second. But
yeah, actually, I have a quick thing to say about this. But
yeah, so before you get into that, I had an ex-girlfriend. The only ex-girlfriend I've ever really, and it's not even huge problems. I've had great luck with the people I've dated, but this is the only one I've had like some problems with. Empathetic. That's the question. I'm like, yeah.
Angela's back. Empathy is the word.
So I had a girlfriend, and she was around us hanging out a little bit, like you mean, and like when we were on the phone, she heard the phone calls. She goes, it makes me really uncomfortable how much you're the butt of the joke in your friendship.
Okay.
And I was like, you don't get it to such a degree, it is astounding. Because I feel when you're around people you're comfortable with, the more you're the butt of the joke, the more it is showing that now, if I was like getting if it was something that like offended me truly, I would just say it, and you guys would absolutely be receptive of that. Well, you would probably keep digging a little
just
bit,
like just test the waters.
You would take a couple more jabs. You would see, okay, well, maybe we can go over the top with this, take this to the next level. But it really it made me feel like, oh, you don't understand. And there's a degree of male friendship that I think is unhealthy when it comes to that sort of thing. But I feel as though with us, it's like, no, that's like a sign of comfort, because you guys are okay. If you're okay making me the butt of the joke, it's usually, the way you can tell if there's like a tight male friend group, the way you can tell which person is on the outside is the one no one goes after.
Yeah.
That's the guy on the outside.
Yeah.
The more on the outside you are, the less people jokingly go after you.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than apathy. Nothing worse than apathy.
Nothing worse than apathy.
Nothing worse.
What, you were going to add something?
Okay, so I'm trying to find it, but I was going to say to my guy here, my thing about like jitters on stage, my perception, and I guess it's maybe just particular to me, but I like to see anxiety and maybe negative emotions as energy. And energy in itself, and this maybe get like weird crystal talk, but I believe energy in itself it's neutral. It can become negative, it can become positive, it can be neutral, right? And what I do is I turn because I am like when I go on stage. Have you seen when I go on stage and I'm like literally shaking?
Of course.
Yeah, I'm just
You
like
mean every
yeah,
time?
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But you can also see that nervous and that jitteriness as energy, and just use that energy, apply it to your performance.
Anxiousness
Mhm.
is the body preparing for action.
Yeah. Yep.
You can see your heart is going to race, you're going to start sweating, you're going to start breathing maybe a little bit faster, and if we see that as being inherently negative,
Mhm.
it's going to create a cycle of negative thought where you go, oh no, I have to get my heart rate down, and that's only going to make it beat faster because you're anxious. I read this, and it was one of the best things I've ever read in terms of sports psychology is look at anxious energy as the body's preparation for action. And if you do that, it turns that energy, which I do believe is neutral, into positive because you're going, oh, yeah, my heart's beating faster because I'm getting ready. Like blood's flowing to my body because I'm getting ready. Like all this is good. All this is good. My body understands where I am right now.
And I just want to highlight this comment right here. Anxiety is a renewable energy resource.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And also, Natsy, love you. She said everything is a frequency, which is exactly what I was trying to say right there.
Can I just say,
Mm.
I don't know what I did in a past life to deserve this, but the people who follow me and watch the live,
Mm.
I'm not trying to kiss ass here.
Mm.
They're the best. You know how many of my friends get like followers and they'll be successful, but they'll go on live and all their followers are like,
Yeah.
hit your head as hard as you can. Like put your head under a bucket of rice. Like you suck.
Mm.
All my followers are like, frequency is everything, baby. I don't know how my luck in life is just it's abundant.
We're all in the ethereal, dude. We're all one. We're all energy, dude. I can feel you. I can feel you, Angela.
Oh, we can all feel Angela,
We
baby.
can all feel Angela. Oh, philosophical geniuses.
Every one of my followers is a fucking philosophical genius. No, but going back to me being a complete diva and having really bad energy yesterday is when I got off stage, the thing I really realized is, and this I think is really important too,
Mhm.
the framing of yourself.
Mhm.
And if you frame yourself as someone who is impervious, you gotta be that.
That's the one thing everyone missed, bro.
Because when you frame yourself as someone who is impervious, that audience is going to feel that energy and they're going to come back at you with let's see it. Like, let's see you be great up here because you're framing yourself as someone who is impervious.
Mhm.
Let's see how you do.
Oh.
And that sort of energy, that sort of like, you know what it works really well for is music.
Yeah.
Music, that impervious. You see, like Beyonce or Michael Jackson, and they get on stage. They are impervious, and it makes sense, and it works for them. And I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know where the schism or differentiation is, but I have found, and this is just personal for me, because there's people on stage. Like Anthony Jeselnik is a impervious comedian. Like, he's a guy who gets on stage and his whole character. Now, this is just a character, right? Obviously, like, he's a human being. He has empathy and all that. So he has a lot of empathy, actually, from the things that I hear about Anthony. When you hear him talk in like regular conversation, you realize like, oh, this is like a very vulnerable, deep guy. But for some reason, when it comes to comedy with me, I feel like extending that vulnerability onto myself on stage is so very helpful.
Oh yeah.
You know, I heard.
I mean, for you especially.
Yeah, well, so I heard Matt Rife say something, where he was like, "It's hard to be handsome on stage because people are rooting against you immediately." I understand what he said, but I would like to shift that a little bit. I don't think that being handsome on stage makes people root against you, but I think like if you're presenting a whole package of it, this is fine too. I like that there are different kinds of comics. But if you're presenting this this package of handsome and cool and like you know, rich and what and like all those things, and those are things that you're kind of like bringing on stage to your persona, and I think it's good to create an uphill battle for yourself sometimes because it can be very interesting to watch people fight their way out of that. But like you sort of create it through the whole package and not through just like I would say honestly, like Norm Macdonald is a very handsome guy. Like
Yeah.
you know, like John Mulaney is a very handsome guy. Like these are handsome guys, but their stage persona encapsulates so much like vulnerability and so much sort of like winking at the audience and stuff that it sort of disarms the audience in that way.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was about to say, yeah, with music, with comedy, totally different things. And yeah, we're doing inside baseball, dude. We're doing the inside baseball comedy. I love
Well,
it.
also, I think this applies to everybody because you have to understand to a degree, you don't want to go too deeply into it, but you have to understand like what you bring to the table is how people are framing you, and understanding that framing, at least to a small degree, really does help you kind of make sense in certain social interactions. Like I've realized, and this is like a good realization. Like I don't think anyone should like raise their voice. I mean, obviously there are situations where it makes sense to raise your voice, but I think like raising your voice on a whole, unless you have an exceptional circumstance, is bad. Like you just shouldn't do it. When I raise my voice specifically, I feel as though it can have maybe a even like more magnified effect just because of my like tone and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's bad. It's not a good
Because
thing.
of your
It's not like
intense
it's not like I'm so powerful. My it's like it's not like I have a booming voice or anything. I think I just have like sort of a shrieking level of like forward energy that can be bad.
Because like if you're yelling at someone, that means you probably feel like there's a loss of control.
Yeah.
Which not in like the creepy way, but knowing you, if you scream,
yeah,
wild.
Yeah.
Have you ever screamed at me?
I've never screamed at you. No, I've never screamed at you. I've raised my voice at Killian before in moments of weakness, certainly. And did I ever tell you about the sandwich? Because I've talked about the sandwich on the podcast.
I've
but
never heard about the sandwich, bro.
I was having a really bad day.
Uh,
I was having a really, really bad day. In a lot, which is not an excuse for my actions, but it's a reason for my action, or like a contributing factor for my actions. And I was hungry and I was like gonna get food, but I had to wait for after a mic. And Killian had a sandwich, and I was like, "Hey, can I have a bite of the sandwich?" Or I might have said, "Give me a bite of your sandwich," and he said no.
Okay, first of all, that's a weird question.
Crazy request.
That's an insane
crazy
to Killian of all the people.
Crazy request to Killian. I take full accountability for my actions here.
We continue.
And Killian said no, which is Joe Morisi, a great comic who heard about this situation, said something great about where he was like, you can't try someone's sandwich without making out with it. You are when you take a bite of a sandwich, you are making out with a sandwich.
Yeah.
So Killian says no, and he's like, you're always asking for my food and pestering me and stuff. And dude, it wasn't the no about the sandwich contributed to it, but it was which is a correct assertion on his part, that I ask for food a lot and it's annoying. Dude, I was like, no, I don't. Like, no, I don't. Like, you're just being an asshole. Like, like, I take you on the road. I brought up that I took him on the road one, and by the way, like, not a great gig, not like a gig that's changing his life or anything. Dude, I was just a complete like out of my body, and not like I got violent or anything.
Much for you.
Dude,
you're gonna bite the hand that
over the bite over a bite of a sandwich. Over a bite of a sandwich. That is a insane request to make to somebody.
Dude, that is perfect. I think I heard about this stuff. Oh my god, that is hilarious. And the one thing you do not do with Killian is eat his food
Yeah.
if he knows. See what I do. Here's what I do, bro. Here's what I do. And I think you guys have a fair kind of understanding of who Killian is. See what I do? I do it on the sneak, right? I eat all his peanut. Bro, I eat so much of his food, but you gotta wait until it's like a few days out when he's forgotten because he's kind of dumb. And you just gotta do little morsels, right? Right? Because he'll be like, yo, where's the peanut butter? I'm like, I don't even, well, what happened to it? And he's like, bro, I do this with the milk too. I drink a lot of milk.
That's why you drink a lot of milk.
I drink a lot.
What's up with that?
I love, because I like to eat it with sweet. I like cereal.
Yeah, okay.
I love cereal.
That makes sense.
I will eat cereal 3 meals out of the day.
Okay.
And I like sweets, and it goes good with milk. So
Sure.
I am known for like, they're like, bro,
you're known
just
for
bought
it.
this gallon of milk. This is a gallon of whole milk.
Yeah.
We're trying to make macaroni and cheese right now. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got you,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, they're trying to use milk for like adult stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're sort of like, do you drink it by the glass ever?
No.
Okay.
I will drink it in the morning out of the glass. Because I'll be like, oh, there's no like.
Oh, so
water.
you do. So you will drink milk out of the glass.
I will, but only in emergency situation. when there's no water around. Milk and pancake.
Damn, dude, you're living a fucking prairie life. That's crazy. You're drinking milk out the glass?
Absolutely, dude.
Whoa. Yeah, you don't see people drink milk out of the glass anymore. If you drink milk out of the glass, I feel like you're a sturdy guy.
That's like in animes.
Yeah.
That's like the sign. The most evil, most like villain drinks milk.
Why do you think that is?
Because it's like a subtle sweet thing. It's like a juxtaposition. Because like you're this evil character, yet you're doing something that is innocuous as drinking milk.
The beginning of Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Drinking milk. Whoa.
Yeah. That's a common trope.
Interesting.
That's a very
we gotta vindicate these milk drinkers, dude.
We gotta
vindicate these milk drinkers have had it hard these last few years.
George Costanza style.
Yeah, see, it used to be beautiful heroes like George Costanza drinking milk, and now it's all these villains and anime guys.
Yeah,
that's disgusting. That's too bad.
Oh yeah,
I feel like there's something very grounded about drinking milk. I feel like you're close to the earth if you're drinking a glass of milk.
Yeah,
I think that's lovely.
That's why it needs to fuel my evil, my evil intent.
Terrence, we got time for another question in the chat if you want. Right. Before we get to the last question, I just want to remind you guys the link tree is in the description of this. You can check out tickets for my show. More importantly, the Patreon. If you pay $5 a month, you get access to an extra live stream every single week. They're usually more personal. They're usually I'm usually able to give a little bit more attention to your specific comments and questions. It's more of a conversation with the chat just because there's less people. So please check out the Patreon, all my other social media, and also Terrence on
persecuted _T on Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram. I will promise to do more Instagram posts. I hate taking pictures of myself.
Have more people followed you since the last episode?
A few
people. Yeah. I post Terrence's handle, and his handle is in the clips too. So check him out there. I'm
just gonna do long monologues. I'll do something on the stories. You guys wait. I got you. You know what's crazy? We don't have a lot of questions because we have a lot of very, very good comments.
Throw a comment up there.
Throw a comment up there.
Yeah, I like, the comments actually are good because it sort of elicits more of a conversation. Like, I do feel weird, and there's so many shows where it's just people answering questions. I feel like what differentiates this podcast from them is that it's much more of a conversation. Like, we can get people live commenting on the episode, which I think is really good, and I think will keep me humble when I eventually start to waver in my abilities as a host, which I do plan on doing. I really quickly, while Terrence is looking for this, I want to mention I do when I start making money off of this podcast, like solid money, first first and foremost, I am going to cut Terrence out completely.
Absolutely. I'm
That's the
prepared
plan.
for it.
We're gonna get Terrence just out of here. We're gonna replace him. We're gonna replace him with a cycle, of like a rotation of just interns. Like I'm gonna get a deal with Emerson where I just get a cycle of interns. Just keep them going, keep them pumping, keep them moving, and like it's gonna be a new intern every 2 weeks, and they're gonna be chained to the chair. And they're going to just be doing my bidding. So that's the first action. And the second action is I'm just going to completely start phoning it in. I'm going to just start making wild political takes that are like lazy, like like the lazy kind of bad political takes. So you guys can just get prepared for that in the future.
Okay, I got one.
Yeah, throw it up there.
There we go. So this is actually going back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Here. Let's see. We were talking about earlier about existentialism.
Right. Existential
I
crisis.
relate so strongly to this. I'm at a point where I'm much better, but I'm thinking, damn, do I not like myself? But really, I'm just used to not being a but really, I'm
not
just
being a
used
person.
Not being a person. So it's scary. The journey is ongoing. IG.
I'll say this. I think, and maybe it's just the people who listen to this podcast, but the things people are saying are very, very profound in that, like, I feel as though there's this real understanding when you are in existential crisis, which I think is huge because I was in existential crisis for a long time, but I like attributed my problems to things like not having enough money and not being good enough at things. And I think it's a huge, like, give yourself credit because it's a huge step for pinpointing the fact that no, it's not those like external markers of satisfaction. It's like the kind of this internal struggle that you're having.
Yes, dude. Dude, not liking yourself, perfectly normal. That is actually you always want to improve. Always want to improve. And sure, just don't let it overwhelm you, but that's not a bad thing. Not liking yourself. You don't want to be a person that loves themselves, okay? You always
I don't know about that. Let's talk about this because I kind of disagree with that.
Well, you don't, because that goes into narcissism, right?
No, okay, no. This is my issue, and I'm glad we're talking about this. I think that shows an oversimplified view of love. Like, I love you, and I despise you most of the time. No, I'm kidding. But like, I think that you can, like, loving someone is not co-signing all of their behaviors.
Yeah.
I think that, and this is not an issue with like you or the person make this comment or anything. I think this is an issue with like the Western idea of love. Yeah. Where I think we see love as this, like, and you need to, like, everything that they do, you need to write off, and
it's all
fine.
bliss.
And that's not, and like loving yourself means acting like a total piece of shit and never taking accountability. That's not, like, love is not that.
Yeah.
Love is like sometimes a brutal accounting for one's actions and sitting down and being like, look, man, you gotta straighten this out.
Yeah. If it doesn't have friction, it is a lie. Love is not frictionless.
Right.
Love is not frictionless. Last thing, we actually have a question.
We have all the time in the world.
Okay.
Can I stay on this for a second though? Because I just wanted to say this this other thing. It's like loving yourself. I mean, in like the real way, loving yourself is important, not just in how you're treating yourself, but how you're allowing people to treat you. And I think that's like a really important overlooked aspect of it. But like, you just really do need to look at yourself as someone who, like, man, I wish Jordan Peterson only talked about the stuff where it's like make your bed and treat yourself like someone yourself like someone who, like, you love. If he didn't get into the like bad political takes.
Did you see the thing where he was talking about like the whale swallowing on I got it. I was like, this makes sense, but you should not have said this.
Dude, and the carnivore diet and the stuff about trans people, it's like, if he just shut up, I think like, because I think if you look at like some of the ways he puts things, it is like, he had this chapter in his book about loving yourself, essentially, and like one of the things he said was like, treat yourself like someone you really care for. And if you really cared for someone, if they made a mistake, you wouldn't be like, you idiot, you dumb idiot, you're so stupid, you're so stupid. Like, that's how you would treat someone you hate.
Yeah.
So it, like, by changing that, like treating yourself like someone you care for, when you make a mistake, you go like, oh man, it's like, that's all right. Like, we'll get better, but you don't have to feel too bad about that. And you don't have to, like, I think that that's really like powerful and important.
Yeah. 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 But a little bit of, I'm kind of slipping right now. That doesn't hurt either.
Yeah. You can slip a little bit.
You can slip.
You're human.
You can lean, but you can't fall.
You can lean, but you can't fall.
Well, I mean, you can fall. Look, I have leaned and fell. So
yeah.
And I've gotten right back up, bro.
You've fallen, and then you go like deeper than even the ground, and you're like, I thought the ground was there.
I'll be like, bro, we're past the crust, bro. We're in the
mantle. How are we? Damn, we're 30 leagues under the ocean.
We're coal mining right now, bro. We mining.
Terrence, you have anything you want to add?
No. Actually, we got this question here.
Oh, throw it up there. Yeah, let's go long.
Go.
Do you care?
No, we're good.
Let's go a little long. Yeah.
And actually, guys, your comments on this is amazing. Especially, I just want to. Someone mentioned pagans. I swear. Look. Let me look. Let me find this.
I love. That's a great thing to call someone. If you're like in a. If you're in an altercation, you just throw that in there.
Cretin,
you pagan,
you barbarian,
be gone, pagan. It feels so good, dude. It feels so good to just call someone a pagan.
Oh, here we go.
Avast ye, pagan.
Yeah, dude. See, that's what people are trying, like, because that's the big thing, like LARPing as like a Roman general or something. Yeah, that's sick. The ego is a hater and a liar. Self-love is very important from a pagan perspective.
Whoa, damn, dude. Yeah, I got a lot of Wiccans that follow me, and it's very powerful. I feel as though I have like an army of good and dark magic behind me.
We got high level mages in the chat.
I think that's why things have been going so well for me, because it's like, I don't necessarily partake in a great deal of witchcraft and wizardry, but I feel like they have my back in this very profound way that feels good. What do you think about ego, Terrence?
I'm not sure what that is. I know what it. I forgot what it is, because I know there's ego, there's ID, there's all this stuff.
So for me, and I think a lot of people have a lot of different concepts and ideas of what the ego is. To me, the ego is a protective force for your psyche. Mm-hmm. So you have your psyche, and then your ego is there as sort of like the defense. So that's why when people say like you're getting defensive or whatever, your ego is this like protecting force where if your beliefs are challenged, either you can accept the challenge and like look at it, or you can allow your ego to get involved to sort of block those external ideas and forces from like entering your own mind.
Okay. That's what do I think about? It sounds great. It sounds like an Iron Man.
Well, the example everybody looks at, which makes sense, is Kanye West. And I think he has properly described himself as someone with a like huge ego, with like a giant, a huge, many would say overdeveloped ego. Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense when you see the fact that like he will never challenge his ideas. He will never challenge his belief in the face of like many people being like, what you're doing and saying is hurtful. He does like, that's sort of the definition of an overdeveloped ego. Obviously, there's also like factors of mental illness that play into those actions.
Sure.
But I'm saying just like from a perspective of like giving an example of ego, that's sort of like the highest possible level, I think.
Well, Kanye, I think Kanye, just as a side note, I think he's very overrated. He's very overrated. I saw a comment online that I was watching like a YouTube video, and it was like a live stream, and one of the commenters said something. He is like a dude who has great vision but cannot draw.
Interesting.
Yeah, like he has hits, and I think the big thing about Kanye is beyond his music is his vision. His vision is him following his vision it's so inspiring that people will follow him. But as far as the music, he's hit or miss. He is a lot of hits, a lot of misses. I think he's a bit overrated in that aspect. That's just kind of a side note.
No, but when it comes to vision though, like a lot of people, like incredibly successful, influential people, do follow that bill. Like the people with the vision and not necessarily the executors of said vision are the ones that generally are like pushed to the forefront and get a lot of credit.
Yeah.
You know, the like Walt Disneys of the world, and not the like hundreds and hundreds of animators that were working with Walt Disney. You know?
Yeah, the Steve Jobs of the world. Yeah,
right.
It was just like, let's just make it one button, guys.
One B.
But you just got to make it happen.
I
don't know how we're gonna do that, but we just got to make that one button, bro.
I love doing that with my own life.
Mm-hmm.
Just being like, we got to get more than a studio. We got to get a 2-bedroom. That is basically how I talk to myself. Is like Steve Jobs, except I don't have the like technological force behind it. Like I'll wake up in the morning and be like, we got to get a 2-bedroom, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm eating today.
All right, I have this one question.
Great.
It might bring us into. We might go way into the ethereal. But
dude, hey, follow me into the psychosphere.
Psycho. Was that from True Blood? I mean, from
True Detectives. I think it is. Yeah,
dude. The first season was so great, and it just fell, dude.
I wanted to kiss both of them. I think.
I don't think they're gonna let you.
No, I don't think they would. But I think I got like really attached to both of those characters.
No. You should DM Matthew McConaughey.
You know, I'm at a level of followers where if I DM'd Matthew McConaughey, there's a very small chance he would look at it. I think I can well, maybe not Matthew McConaughey, but I think I can DM anyone from 1 to 10 million followers, and they might look at it.
No, they seem like both. What is it? Woody Harrelson.
Yeah,
they seem like two chill dudes that would just be like, yeah. Dude.
Not to name names, but I shot a shot with a like certainly someone who would be considered like a rising celebrity, and she did respond, and she stopped responding eventually.
You told her to do push-ups,
but no, I did not.
You were like, you gotta do push-ups.
No.
Sets.
This is the era of don't be hard on yourself, Dan, and I want everyone to understand that.
I will never not be hard on you. Yeah, that's you for Dan, but me, I'm lurking.
Yeah, you're lurking in the shadows,
wolf.
And I love that about you.
Hungry wolf.
But yeah. So when it comes to what is your go-to conspiracy theory?
Continue. What were you gonna say before?
I was talking about DMing someone.
Yep, DMing, and then you told her to do push-ups, and then she.
Oh yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think I could DM Matthew McConaughey, and there's like maybe a 5% chance it would get looked at.
I'd say more like 0.2.
We should, after this, you know what we should do?
Yeah.
And I will obviously be very respectful, but we should go through a few like
we should get his address.
We should go through a few B-tier celebrities and see if I can message them something and they will respond.
I thought you were gonna say we should find their address.
No, we shouldn't do that
because we're in the LA.
Okay, we're in the area code.
We're in the area code.
What is your go-to conspiracy theory?
Right here.
Terrence, now, mind you, we are on several social media platforms.
I know. I was like, this is a cool question, but I'm like, it can get sticky.
Right.
So I'm going to keep it PG. I'm going to keep it PG, rated teen.
Right.
For the gamers out there, we're going to keep it rated teen.
Right.
All right. I don't know.
I think the government knew that the opioid crisis was coming, and I think obviously like Purdue Pharma knew that the opioid crisis was coming, and they did nothing, and also like exacerbated it. That's not even much of a conspiracy theory. I think that's like pretty well known and accepted, but that's one that I think is really crazy. And I think when it comes to like conspiracies, whether they are founded or unfounded, because it absolutely is a thing where there are conspiracy theories that are prove, at least
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
most part, proven. Much like Purdue Pharma, I think it has come out when there's like a number of like documents. And I'm an idiot, so I don't really know this, but I did read a book about it where they were talking about how the Sackler family knew early on how addictive opioids were, or Oxycontin was, and they still allowed it to be put in the system. But I think what conspiracy theories can do, and to too much of a degree sometimes, but they can make you sort of skeptical of other things. And I think a healthy level of skepticism is good. I think an unhealthy level of skepticism can untether you from like everyone and everything in your life in a really bad way, and I've seen that happen. But the Purdue thing is particularly troubling to me because it's like these were the healthcare professionals that like the people that we defer to, and they were the ones doing this, and it feels really bad.
Yeah. I'm just gonna pop up a few here, which are funny. My boy Johnny said the best fake one is birds are not real.
Yeah, birds are not real is very funny.
And
I
then,
I know a guy who knows a guy who started that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Pretty
You
cool.
know, I'm not gonna like talk about a specific conspiracy theory, because I was huge into conspiracy theories. If you guys out there know what is it, Coast to Coast with Art Bell? It's basically, it was the one of the longest running radio shows in American history, and it would just be this dude named Art Bell who would just talk conspiracies, and I would listen to it as a youth. I think a lot of other people used to listen to Art Bell, and from my thing, basically, I think conspiracies in themselves can be a psyop to obscure the truth.
Yes.
Right. And just because, like, I think when we're talking conspiracies, it's like you're putting too much credit on people, because real life conspiracies, it's just like a network, it's like how someone described the Russian mafia, weirdly enough. Like, people think of the Russian mafia as something like the Italian mafia, like this huge almost secret society with a like very structure, a hierarchy. Russian mobsters, they're like Facebook friends. They're just
What do you mean?
They're just like, yo, we're trying to catch this lick right here.
Oh, that's really funny.
Igor, no,
they're posting on each other's pages.
Yo, that's how it is.
That's really funny.
Like, I think that's my only comment. My favorite conspiracy was I can't even. I like the black helicopters. I
What's
like
that
that.
one?
It's just that when you see black helicopters, I like if you guys know the term gang stalking, where it's like someone targeted individual, right? Targeted individual, right? They just believe that they're being watched, right?
Okay.
They're being watched by everyone. So they'll be like, this car is following me here. There are people following me. There's surveillance stuff. And
wait, but what about the black helicopters?
Black helicopters is part. It's a common trope in targeted individual forums. Is black helicopter when you see like in the Goodfellas. You
so
see
who are they targeting? Just kind of anyone?
Yeah. If you believe you're being into conspiracy theories, I read this book called Paranoia, right? And in the book, his definition of paranoia was the intense, just the visceral feeling of fear, and the paranoia is your mind trying to rationalize that.
Yes.
Hormone, just like going off in your head.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
Damn, I think this is. Let's end on this because this is really beautiful.
Our lovely lady, Miss Angela Tafari said, targeted individuals are real. Anyone can be targeted.
Oh, TI stands for targeted individuals.
Targeted individuals.
Hey, and just remember that, folks, when you're going to sleep at night, TIs are real. Thank you so much for listening to the Danswers podcast. I'm your host, Dan Donahue.
I'm Terrence Pennington.
And have a good one. And now you just click. Thanks for listening, guys. This is extra on it. Oh, follow me to the Patreon if we're gonna keep going on the Patreon for half an hour.
Yeah.
So bye-bye.
Bye-bye.